Greetings. Oh, excuse me. Greetings, people of Earth. We live? We live? I guess we're live. I don't know. Waiting to see if we're live. Yeah, we're live. That thing's on a long delay. Sorry. Greetings, people of Earth. How are you? Welcome to the third floor, the NFL Tuesday night show where we recap week 8 and we do our week 9 picks. Last week, we had a great week last week, man. We were 8-8. 8-8 in the picks, and we were 13-3 in the over/under. So we're getting hot in our over/unders finally. There we go. That's better. Damn glare. That's better. Yeah. So we went 13-3 in our over/unders, man. So that was a great. I forget which over/unders we lost. Anyway. Last week, like I said, we went 8-8 in our picks. Our winners were Detroit, Arizona, Philly, Chargers, Washington, Denver, 49ers, and Pittsburgh. Those are all our winners. Not a bad week. Not that great of a week, but either way, what are you going to do? But it looks like we're getting back on track with our over-unders. 13-3, that's a pretty strong week. If it's your first time here and you're just joining us, like, share, follow, do all that fun stuff. If you could help the show, we appreciate it. Every little bit helps. And you get a shout out. We got merchandise coming within the next 2 weeks or so. So anyway, let's see. Getting into last week, a lot happened, man. Jets. That's it, Jets. I can't back you no more, man. I can't back the Jets no more. I thought, I give them the benefit of the doubt. It looked good with Rodgers coming and all this other stuff. Then the firing of the coach, then bringing in this guy and then this guy. The Jets are a mess. And then Rodgers comes out and says, we got to score 30 to win. Again, Rodgers coming from another planet, man. He's got his tinfoil hat on. I'll stand behind him, man. I hope he pulls it off. I really, really, really do. I hope he has a decent season. But right now, Jets, I'm sorry, man. I can't go with you anymore. Just can't do it. It's a mess. I mean, Devontae Adams comes in here. He's not even in here 24 hours and holds a meeting and says, you got to be fucking kidding me. This is a joke around here. And they went out and laid an egg against the Patriots. They give kudos to the Patriots, man. They've been taking a lot of abuse. But, they're playing football at least. At least they're trying. At least they're giving it the old go for the gipper. But Jets, done. So, Eddie Hope, you could take them off my my playoff list, pretty much. We'll get into that in a minute. What else we got? We got some big matchups. I think the 3 big matchups this weekend coming is the Packers, Colts, and Bucks. The Bucks are 8.5 under against Kansas City, in Kansas City, on Monday night. Absolute must win for the Bucks. Absolute must win for the Bucks. But those 3 big games. Those are 3 big games. Another interesting part of the news is Richardson from the Colts. I've seen wrestlers tap out. I've seen MMA guys tap out. I've never seen a quarterback tap out. And the result of him tapping out is his coach benching him and going with Flacco. So, look for the Colts to win this week. That'd be my prediction. I mean, Flacco will come out and be just looking like, Joe Montana reborn or whatever. But, again, if you're just joining the show, please hop in the live chat. So Flacco's coming back. Now, I was wondering what was going to happen this week with the Texans, playing the Jets Thursday night. And then all of a sudden, Diggs is out. ACL. Done. Torn. And I'm like, oh, shit. Texans might be in trouble. Then I'm like, you know what? They're playing the Jets. They're not in trouble. They're not in trouble, especially if they're playing the Jets. So to hell with it. Um, Lost my train of thought for a second. Yeah, with Diggs being out, I don't know. I looked at the line, I double checked the line, and it's Texans +2. I guess Diggs is that big of a deal. That I mean I don't know. I could be wrong, but when I checked the line, it was the Texans +2. So we'll see what happens there. But the Texans ain't gonna have no problem with the Jets. This ain't gonna be a game where the Jets just open up, turn the season around. I just don't see it happen. I think they got too much. There's too much bullshit going on right now in Jetland, and Texans. Texans are looking good, man. Texans are looking strong. So Diggs is out. Rogers says we need 30 points a game. Three big matchups. We'll get to them. Richardson's tapping out and Flacco coming back. I mean, those are the main stories. But before we get into Week 9's picks, I don't want to. Travarius Ward of the Niners. Uh, my condolences to him and his family for the loss of his 1-year-old daughter. That is absolutely horrible. I understand she had some kind of heart thing that she has been battling since birth, and she passed. So my heart out to the entire Ward family and everybody involved there. That's really heartbreaking to the 49ers. The 49ers had a rough year so far, man. That's some wild stuff happened to them. But anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way before we get into the Week 9 picks. So let's see. Like I said, last week we went 8-8 in our picks and 13-3 in our over and unders. Uh, so let's get into it. Our first pick will be. Let me just switch this over so we know what we're doing. It's funny when you have everything ready and then as soon as you go live, you can't find nothing. But we're right on it. We're right on it. Thursday night in the Meadowlands. Yeah, right here. Jets -2. So we got the Texans +2 to 42.5 over under on Thursday night. So Texans +2, 42.5 over under. We're going to take the over there. This could be just another embarrassing night for the Jets on prime time. And the good part about it, Jet fans, this is your last time on prime time, so we ain't got to worry about you anymore. Moving on to the Sunday games, we got a big game here, and I don't know. You can call this one or two ways. I'm taking Denver over. I'm taking Denver over Baltimore in Baltimore. Now they're getting 9.5. Yes, I'm definitely taking it because 9.5 is a lot of points, and I think Denver's a little bit better than 9.5 points, even though Baltimore is playing lights out football. But don't be surprised if Denver pulls the upset here. Don't be surprised if Denver pulls the upset. You got a 45.5 over under. We're going to take the over there. So we got Denver +9.5 and over on the 45.5. Then the next game we go to is the Raiders go to Cincinnati. We'll take the Bengals +7.5. I see the line just moved to 7. We got 7.5, so we'll take the Bengals +7.5 over the Raiders. 46.5 over under. We're going to take the over there for sure. I like the over under there. Then we move on to the next game, which is the Patriots and New England in the Dumpster Fire Bowl. So Tennessee -3.5. We're going to take Tennessee minus the 3.5. The over/under is pretty interesting at 37.5. We talked about this before in previous NFL shows. That's a tricky one, but I'm looking at both offenses here, and the game is in Tennessee, so I'm thinking weather might play a little bit of a factor here, as it did, like I said, in the Seattle game this week. So we're going to take Tennessee minus the 3.5, 37.5 over under. We're going to take the under in the 37.5. We're going to go under. I think this could be a messy, sloppy game. If it's not the weather, it'll definitely be both offenses because, I mean, seriously, look what we're dealing with here. So anyway, Look for that to go down. Our next game will be. I got to be a. I got to be a Carolina Panther fan this week and take 7 points over the New Orleans Saints in Carolina. So we'll take Carolina at home plus 7, 43.5 over under. We'll take the over. I mean, this could just be one of those back and forth seesaw battles, but I like to see Carolina pull this game off. But I'm taking the points either way. And the news from the Saints is that Carr might be back for Week 9. We'll keep an eye on that as the story develops. We move on to the next game, Cowboys in Atlanta. I got to be a Cowboy fan. I mean, more than ever, I got to be a Cowboy fan because Atlanta, once again, they manhandle this. What am I going to do? It sucks when this happens. It sucks when that happens. But we're already down 2 games to Atlanta. They got a 1-game lead on us. We're trying to separate ourselves from the Saints and Carolina. But I got to root for Carolina this week because they're further back. And now I got to root for the freaking Cowboys to beat Atlanta in Atlanta. So give me the Cowboys plus 2.5. Now you got a 52.5 over under here. We're going to take the over because this is definitely going to be a shootout. I don't see the Cowboys laying down here. They should be able to handle this, and this should be a competitive game on the Cowboys aspect of it. Next game we move on to is Miami goes to Buffalo. We'll take Buffalo minus 6 and a 49.5 over under. We'll take the over there. There's really not much to talk about in that game. Next game is the Chargers and Browns. Not much to talk about there, other than the Browns pulling off a stunner. What are you going to do? Look at the Redskins, how they pulled it off. I mean, you never know. Any given Sunday, man. We'll take the Chargers minus 1.5 on the road in Cleveland. 42.5 over under. We're going to take the under here because this could be a sloppy track too in Cleveland on Sunday. Next game we move to is a game that, normally we'd really be looking forward to this if it was a competitive, if the NFC East was somewhat competitive, but right now it's not because of the Giants and Cowboys. Just Eagles are finally playing ball, so they're making it interesting, but the Redskins have been playing ball all year, and they're going to continue to play ball, and the schedule is starting to lean towards their favor this part of the season. They got the Giants on the road. Give me the Redskins minus 3.5 on the road, right? Yeah, they're on the road. They're in the Meadowlands. 43.5 over under. We'll take the over here. Washington could put up points. Look for the Giants to put up their regular 10, 12, 13 points. And then the Redskins to cover the rest of the 43.5. So the 43.5 over under, we'll take that, and we'll take the Redskins and give the 3.5. Speaking of the Eagles, they got the luck of the draw here. They're drawing Jacksonville at home. So give me the Eagles at home minus 7.5 over Jacksonville. You got 45.5 over under. We're going to take the over there for sure. I like the over under there. Sorry. I get into this and I forget. So I like the 45.5 over under there. So Eagles minus 7.5 over the visiting Jags. Jags, they ain't winning here. That's kind of an easy game. This is an interesting one. Now, kind of put a little question mark next to this one at first, and then I went through it, and 2 things. One, Arizona Cardinal fans, I owe you an apology. You guys are sitting up top. I mean, well, actually, because you're alphabetically there, but alphabetically, you're in first place. I didn't have you going this far. Hats off, kind of, to the Arizona Cardinals playing 500 football. They're home against the Bears and Cardinals are -1. Bears are coming off a brutal loss. That's got to be the worst way to lose a game, man, on a fucking Hail Mary to end it. A Hail Mary, Jesus Christ almighty. What a beautiful play when it works, though, ain't it? You almost think every time they throw it up, it's going to work. Almost every single time the ball goes in the air in a Hail Mary, you almost figure somebody's going to catch it. But if you watch it, I mean, I'll say 7 out of 10 times the ball hits the ground. And the other 3 times, 2 times, the defense has got it. Once is the Hail Mary. But what a beautiful play to end the game, man. That was beautiful, man. That was really beautiful. So we'll take the Bears plus the 1. Yeah, that line is steady at 1. 44.5 over under. We're gonna go under. This will be a good game. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I think defenses will step up here, and we'll go from there for sure. So Bears plus 1, 44.5 over under. We'll take the under. Then the next game we go to is, well, this one's going to be an interesting one because this is one of those massive, massive games of the week. Big game of the week. You got the Rams going to Seattle. I would bet. I'd bet money on it that it's going to be pretty shitty there in Seattle. So this is going to be an interesting game. You got the Rams minus 1.5 going into Seattle. So we'll take Seattle plus the 1.5. 48.5 over under. We're going to take the over here. This is going to be an interesting one. This could be a lopsided game or a shootout. I'm going more towards Seattle blowing them out. Rams are hot. Don't get me wrong. Rams are playing good. They look to be going like, steady, whatever. But look for Seattle to rebound because they got to stay pace. And they definitely, if they got one step on the Niners, that's a good thing. Keep a step on them. And right now, this is the time to make the move against the Niners. For one, the Niners are one of the bye teams off this week. You got Steelers and Niners who ain't playing this week. So this is a big game for the Rams, for Seattle, and for Arizona with their partner being off. So good scheduling right here. So week 9 is looking definitely stout. Which brings us to the next game, which is the Lions go to the Packers. All right. Another big game. This one is big on a lot of levels, man. Division game. It's conference game. There's a lot going on, and from what I understand, I think Love will play. I think he dodged a major injury. I know they have the bye week the following week, but I think he's going to play. Regardless of the fact, I'm looking for the Packers to be stout at home against the Lions. We'll take the Packers plus the 3.5. You got a 48.5 over under here. We're going to take the over. This is going to be a good game right here. Look for the Packers to win this game though outright. Lions are good, man. Lions are good, no doubt about it. But Pac's been good to us all year, so we might as well stick with them. And we'll give them plus 3.5. So we'll go from there. Then we move on to the Sunday night game. This is an interesting game too, because you got the Colts going to Minnesota on Sunday night. Colts are coming in at a 5-point underdog. New starting quarterback and Flacco. Absolutely, positively, without any kind of a doubt, as far as the Colts are concerned, this is an absolute must-win. No question, they got to win this game. I look for the Colts to come out firing. I look for the Colts to win this game. So we'll take the Colts plus the 5. Colts plus 5. You got a 46.5 over under. It's going to be a shootout, folks. It's going to be one of those games. It might come down to who has the ball last, but either way, we'll take the Colts plus the 5, and we'll take the over in the 46.5. Then we move on to the Monday night game, where my boys go to play. Aren't they lovely? Oh my God! I don't know which Buccaneer team shows up, but I'm taking 8.5. I'm on the road. I'm taking 8.5. Kansas City at this point looks pretty much how they usually do, unstoppable. Kelsey was hot, had a big game this week. That's not good. Yeah, they seem to be clicking, and when you're 7-0, I guess you are clicking. Of course, we have questions along the way, calls here and there, and Kermit getting away with this and Kermit getting away with that. But for the most part, they're playing winning football. They got 7 W's. So, and no L's. It's Noel. They got, yeah. So, and that is a tough place to play. So the Bucks definitely got the deck stacked against them. It's an absolute must win for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Absolute must win for Tampa Bay. So many reasons it's a must win. As a matter of fact, this could be the season right here as far as Tampa Bay is concerned. The way it looks right now, yes, this is the moment of truth for Tampa Bay to step up. And I'll tell you what, I see wide receivers being traded every day and signed every day, and I don't see Tampa Bay making any kind of moves. There's a couple good guys out there that just went off the board that we might have a shot at. I mean, people were talking about Kupp, but he looks like he's staying. He's going to be staying in LA with the Rams. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere anytime soon. So I can't rely on that. There's nobody in the practice squad. I mean, I got to go look at the wire again and see who's available in free agency. I don't know what we're looking for as far as trades, as far as draft choices. There's so much involved, but the deadline's Tuesday, 4 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. So if Tampa's going to make a move as far as a receiver, and that's what we need right now. What we got now is okay, but it's not going to get us anywhere anytime soon against this schedule coming up. And we don't get a break until week 11, I believe it is. I don't think Tampa's bye week is until week 11. So, there's a lot of factors going in there. We'll take a peek at week 10 in a minute, but yeah, absolutely, definitely a must win for Tampa Bay. And I can't come out of here with an L. There's no way in the world that Tampa can come out of here with an L going in 4-5. If Atlanta sneaks by and wins against the Cowboys, putting them would be 6-4. We're in trouble. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the way it looks in the NFC, you're going to need at least 11 to get in. Probably going to need 11 wins to get in the NFC, and you're probably going to need 11, maybe 12 wins to get in the AFC. The way that's starting to play out. So there you go. You got your over-unders for week 9. You got your picks for week 9. Most of the news for week 9 is there. Which brings me to this. Now, the next, what do you want to do? Let's call it the next 2 weeks. The next 2 weeks of football. So we'll call it week 9, week 10. At the end of week 10, maybe let's call it week 10. At the end of week 10. You can even call it halftime at week 10. Let's do that. Let's call it halftime at week 10. That's when the playoff picture will slowly start to focus in. And we could start zeroing in on certain teams, and we could start writing off certain teams. See where we're going to go. Because Thanksgiving's right around the corner, folks. And after that, man, it's Christmas and it's playoffs. There's not much left in this season. We're at week 9. It's a long season, but it's really short in reality, man. It's the time zone is just so constricted and it crashes so fast. So let's see what plays out over the next 2 weeks. Call it, like I said, around at halftime at week 10. We could probably almost see what's going to happen. Injuries, who's healthy, who's not. If there's any big trades before next Tuesday, there's a lot of factors in there to throw in, for sure. So, without a doubt, the next week 9, week 10, man, it's gonna be some really good football. We got some really great matchups, and taking a peek at week 10, we open up on Thursday night with the Bengals at the Ravens, and then we got the Niners at Tampa. We got we got an international game. We got the boys going to Munich. We have the Giants and the Panthers in Munich, week 10, and that'll be a home game for Carolina. And don't ask me why, but that game's actually got a line. The Giants are -1.5 already. continued along with the schedule. Falcons play the Saints. So there you go. If I can get the Cowboys to knock off Atlanta this week, Tampa wins, we're back at a tie. And then the Saints, I become a Saints fan and hope the Saints knock off the Falcons. A lot of shit, man. Then you got another interesting game in Week 10 is Denver and Kansas City at Kansas City. Buffalo goes to Indianapolis. The Steelers in Washington. That's going to be a hell of a game. The Vikings at the Jags. Patriots at Bears. Titans at Chargers. Eagles, Cowboys. Jets, Cardinals. That should be a barn burner. Actually, that would be a big game for Arizona, probably. And then the Sunday night game is Detroit at Texans. That should be a nice one. And then your Monday night game is the Dolphins at the Rams. And your bye week teams in Week 10 will be Cleveland, Green Bay, Las Vegas, and Seattle. So there you go. And a little peek at Week 10. So let's see how we do with Week 9. If we can have a little rebound week, we'll update all the numbers for next Tuesday's show. We will be back. Let's see. We'll be back tomorrow with a World Series Game 4 recap, Game 5 preview. That's tomorrow. Not sure when that's going to drop. It'll drop a little bit before game time. I try to do like an hour or 45 minutes before the pregame comes on. I mean, when the pregame comes on, maybe 15 minutes before the pregame comes on, and take it like a half hour, 40-minute chunk out of that. So you're going to have to listen to all the bullshit. You can sit here and listen to what really is going to happen. And if you don't believe me, just go back to the first World Series preview and listen to all three up to to the last one I just did earlier today. And I don't know, I nailed it all. I nailed everything. Nailed it all, including tonight's final score. I said 12-4. The Yanks would win 12-4 tonight. They won 11-4. So there you go. I know what I'm fucking talking about, especially when it comes to the Yankees, especially when it comes to baseball, especially when it comes to football. I know my shit. I see if you're here, could have hit in the live chat. Say hello. How are you? How you doing? Who's your team? Where you from? And all that other happy stuff. Like I said, the live chat's always up and ready for you. So like, share, follow, and do all that other stuff. Check out the descriptions. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there for you to check out inside the descriptions, including my wife's handmade designer bags. Go check that out. There's a link in there. Bowser Bros Painting is in there for the Sacramento, Berkeley, and San Francisco areas. All your painting needs, inside, out, business, commercial, residential, inside and out, don't matter, whatever it is, they got you covered. Tell them I sent you, get 15% off your first job. And definitely check out the wife's designer handbags. Appreciate that. And if you could help the show, descriptions in there. Cash App, PayPal, and Cash App are in there. We appreciate it. Get a shout out. If you give us a donation, get a shout out. We got some merch coming. We got wristbands, stickers, and a couple other things. I even looked into some hats. I think we're going to get hats. But if we're going to do all that stuff, you got to get in here and get into the live chat and interact with us. You got to start interacting with us, folks. We're ready to interact. We've been ready to interact all the time. We got a mouth that just doesn't stop, and a fucking attitude to go with it. So we can have a lot of fun in here if we interact. Trust me, it'll be a lot of fun. So other than that, in the meantime, like, share, follow, rant, rave, holler on YouTube. Subscribe if you're just coming in, man. Subscribe if you're here this long. Subscribe if you're just stopping in, for just finding us. Like, share, follow. Rumble, love you guys. Like, share, follow. Same thing. We got the rant, like live chat, leave a comment. If you're following this in the replay too, man, just drop all that stuff in. Everything I'm talking about, you could do it when you're watching the replay. So do that for us, folks. We love you, and we'll be back. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow, probably. Like I said, I'd like to go on maybe 10 minutes, 15, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes before the actual pregame starts and bring you up to just about game time. with the whole recap of the game and the outlook for the Game 5 coming up. So that's tomorrow. You can find us tomorrow. So we did two shows today. So go back and watch the World Series preview that I just did before this Game 4. Go check Game 3 preview. Go check Game 2 preview. Go check Game 1 preview. I'm telling you, you'll like us and follow us and want to be part of it. So like, share, and follow, please. And if it could help the show, we really appreciate it. Cash App and PayPal, all in the descriptions. So we're going to get out of here. It's been a long one, training night, but we're here. We're committed. Like I said, Tuesdays, you can see all the stuff happening right there in the ticker. So everything will be happening, man. Don't forget Tuesday nights, election night bong special. Play along with us. I haven't determined what time we're going on air yet, but when we go on air, we'll be having fun. We're gonna have some folks here, and we'll be playing some bong and drinking games. Bong and drinking games. Tell your friends. Join us Tuesday night, election night, for coverage like you ain't never seen in your life for an election. Right here on the third floor. We love you. So remember, folks, when you come up to the third floor, remember to bowl up, bong up, and then beam on up to the third floor. We'll be here hanging out, waiting on you, just chilling, hanging out in time and space. We love you, folks. Peace.